Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your 10th Walker Season 3 episode review, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there. It's been a very rainy day here in New York. Well, yesterday was, so it's kind of rainy today. So, about it. Anywho, this week on Walker, I got really not much to say. I don't got any background. I ate some steak, I ate some calzones. I'm pretty satisfied with my day. Pretty satisfied. Made some cookies. Today on Walker, well, not they. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to feel like I need to be poetic or something like that. I don't know what I'm doing. My brain is tired. I've had a long day. I haven't had a long day. I was only up at 8. Okay, I'm rambling. This week on Walker, it felt like an eventful episode, and it really did. It kind of felt like not the climax of the season. This isn't like before the penultimate episode or anything of the season. It's not. But it definitely felt like we were getting the information that's going to like really pull us to the final stretch of episodes, let's call it, because again, I don't know how many more episodes they have shooting for this season. I'm pretty sure Independence is done already, I'm assuming, because they should be done already. They should be. I didn't see anything on the post, but anyway. This episode was crucial in terms of like getting like some really big information, knowing where everyone's standing in their storyline. We had some good advancements, we had some bad advancements in terms of just like for the characters' sakes of like what was good or bad for them. And honestly, I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. It felt simplistic at times, but it also felt very progressive, and I was very much happy about it. And I very much was, now I'm excited because what the next episode is going to bring, even though we're about to go on a 2-week break after this episode. But regardless of that, that being said, let's just go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. So we begin with... my brain is hurting. Did we just start with breakfast? I think we just start with breakfast. Grandpa and Grandma Walker having breakfast with August, kind of his only appearance in the episode, I believe. They're having fun. They kind of had this like weird, not kinship, but like this weird, like, we're kind of like just together because everyone else is off doing their own storylines now, and they're just kind of hunkering down, trying to enjoy a nice family breakfast, but they're missing a couple people. Liam comes in very much concerned about the horse rescue project and everything. Meemaw does not want him to bring work to the table because it's just family rules, but he's like, nah, I got so much to do. I can't eat like even 20 minutes to eat breakfast. There's, so much for me to read and like, figure out. So Grandpa Walker is now okay-ish with the idea of them having a horse rescue under their name. He's still not happy with it or how the way it proceeded, but he's, he's living, he's learning, and he's going to get through it. Liam's like just presenting some ideas, like he's going to meet with a financial advisor in a bit so that they can realistically figure out how do we keep this a charitable organization without losing too much. He also got some means like how do we actually get all of this, really up and running. So there's a lot of questions for him to figure out that he wants to really bring to the table before Grandpa Walker can officially step in and like actually participate and help. Cordell's not there. He's off with Julia, the reporter that we met, that we saw in the premiere vibe that I completely forgot about till last week's episode. She's there because he contacted her because, again, remember last episode, he got all those energy drinks randomly, which was the same one that he had when he was taken by the organization, by the mercenary group. And he contacted her because like he doesn't really know who else to contact right now. He doesn't want to bring Cassie in, James as well. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just contact you and see what's up. They got gloves on, trying to preserve the integrity of the evidence. All they can really figure out is that this is a very specific energy drink that happened to be at the exact place that Walker was held captive, and now it's here, so it's like definitely someone knows something or anything about it, but as Cordell and her are proceeding, like actually digging into like what it could be, he gets a text from James that, a call from James, telling him to come in on a Saturday, which for him is weird, but I'm like, dude, just work a Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was like, is it the last minute ship on Saturday? Oh god, I haven't yawned on a show in a while. It's been a while. So he, Trey, and Cassie head over to the station. Trey and Cassie are getting a little bit of a banter about Cassie's upcoming date with the politician, and that Trey's like he knows everything. Like just chillax about it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fine first date. They arrive at the office. It's also, I think, Cordell's first time in the office in a while. I forgot he was on Ranger duty last week. I completely forgot. Well, was he on Ranger duty? Yeah, he was on Ranger duty. So yeah. By the time they got to, so they didn't really get to converse much before James walks in, first chewing out Trey for his insubordination for not staying at his desk at his post. Cordell tries to defend him, saying that if Trey didn't act on the way he acted, people would have been hurt, and James doesn't give a shit. He really does not, and he decides to tell Trey that he's going to be put on a board on Monday morning with the DLD, not the DLD. I think another show I was watching, the disciplinary board on a meeting to determine his future with the Rangers. So there isn't much time. Cordell and Cassie are called over to his office where, yes, he does officially know for sure that he does know that they tampered with the evidence because Cassie actually mention the name Gray Flag at the barbecue. So someone nearby knew about it, and then they mentioned it to Trey, and then they tried to James, and then now he knows, like, well, the only people who would even know maybe that wasn't in the know was you two. So they come clean. They admit that, yes, it was them, that they thought that the digital watches that went off automatically were a bomb, and they just were playing precautious, and then one thing led to another. James isn't entirely mad at them for that per se, but he is peeved that, at least to Cordell, like, we're supposed to be, friends, close comrades and everything, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you did this and you didn't even bother to tell me. At least fill me in. At least let me know ahead of time that, like, yeah, this happened. I'm sorry for it. At least it would have still fucking stung. It would have been like, definitely a yelling, but not to the disappointment scale as this. Again, James is going to let it go because the chain of custody was not broken. There was nothing to simulate that, other hands were on it. The everything was fine. So in the eyes of the state, all the evidence is perfectly fine. The chain is unbroken, which means this could be usable in a court of law. So yes, they are safe on that logic. So there isn't really much to punish them for, but he's still very disappointed in them. And at this point, he just doesn't want to see them right now. So he orders them to leave, giving them one more chance to, like, if there's anything else that I should know about, let me know. Because guess what? I'm going to get even more mad at you. Cordell, I was about to use this as an opportunity to tell him about what he found out about Gray Flag, about the energy drinks and whatever, but considering the fact that Julia warned them that there is a chance that Gray Flag could still be up and at them, that it could potentially lead to, like, maybe there's still moles in the Rangers that they don't know about that could feed back this information to their leader that, okay, Cordell's on to us. We need to get to him now. So that is a big imperative importance. So, but Cordell decides to not tell James about it yet, which, again, will probably come to bite him in the ass. But regardless of that, they all split up. Well, not really, they don't split up. So they all meet up again for coffee nearby about what do they do now? Obviously, Trey's in the worst shape right now because he could potentially get fired, and he doesn't know what to do, really. And, Cassie and Cordell trying to calm him down a little bit, saying that, this is very procedural. Most of them are, like, training for, like, the big stuff, which I don't think this is it, so you'll be fine. Even Cordell's like, yeah, I had plenty of them, and I'm usually fine. Maybe, like, a warning or, like, maybe a slight punishment, but it really doesn't involve termination, so you should be fine. So they calm down Trey. Cassie, knowing that, she could have been mildly responsible for everything that kind of happened to all of them, she kind of wants to call off her date with the politician because she doesn't feel like she'll be in the right mind space to try and, like, communicate with him on a dating term. But but both of them implore her, no, go for it, do it. Like, it doesn't involve him. You could just shut off your problems for now and just see where this could go with him, and just have a fun night tonight. So she follows through and decides to go for it. Cordell dips out to go back to the side stool where he meets up again with, I just remembered her name. I forgot. Was it Jenna? I forgot. I'm so sorry. I literally had her name and, like, I said it the first 3 times. Now I completely forgot. I want to say it's Jenna. I don't really, I forgot. I'm sorry. So I'm going to have to call the reporter again. I'm so sorry. I had her name in my heart, but then I forgot it. I'm really sorry. So they meet up again. Cordell does want to, like, pursue this investigation further off the books with her as his, work partner. I get it's not really like an official, like, he trusts her or anything, but he doesn't really have much of a choice right now, so he's gonna go with it. So they stay at the sty stool, and she's kind of giving him the lowdown of, like, why she thinks Gray Flag is still operational. That, yeah, those 4 guys we took down and, eventually killed, I don't think they were, at the end of the day, all the organization. I think there's still more of them out there. And she's even including him in, like, you know, and honestly, I really thought certain things they said in this episode, I really thought they were going to stretch it out. I feel like that was just traditional TV 101. Like, hey, I got this theory, but I'm not going to tell you that theory until the next episode, and then that's going to lead to the explanation for the next episode. You see how it is? That's how usually writers kind of do it. But no, they compile it all here. She's insinuating, but then she basically tells him point blank that there's so many connections with the energy drinks and just, you know, them targeting you specifically and just everything in general. Like, it could be an active service Marine, and it also could be possibly someone that used to be on your unit, which Cordell does take into consideration for a few seconds, but it's too much for him right now. So he bounces, and he doesn't really, because the only reason she made that assumption is that the drinks that was used at the where they were kidnapped, or not kidnapped, where they were held hostage, were only distributed in Marine MREs at that specific time period. So only someone that was on active duty back then would know about it. So how the hell did someone get it? I mean, you can get it on eBay, but I don't think they have like that much to, like, you know, purposely do it. But regardless of the case, maybe that's why she's assuming that it could be potentially someone in Walker's unit if they're specifically talking Walker. Howard Cordell calls in and I needs to take a break from her and, like, you know, just bounces. Grandpa and Grandma Walker somehow went from breakfast to dinner. He's washing dishes. Oh, no, I forgot. There was a conversation where when Liam was trying to leave earlier to go start his day, Grandpa Walker wants to hold a family meeting, you know, everyone included, even Stella, who's not even in the house anymore, just to talk about the future of their family. And of course, that obviously means, you know, getting Meemaw. Now, I'm thinking of freaking Young Sheldon. I'm so sorry. I'm jumping. I watched too many shows, if you're unaware. For Grandma Walker to take, like, a much more healthier, you know, peaceful life. And of course, obviously him telling him, like, yeah, Cordell might be moving out soon based on my recommendations. So, you know, there might be some big family changes coming, but I think they'll be necessary. And then when they get to, like, their dish session, they're talking about it. He's like, yeah, I did that because I think it would be best for us to, separate you in order so you can get the most amount of peace that you can. And also the second thing is that I think Cordell I had enough of, like, you babying Cordell's kids. He should be doing that himself. Stella may be an adult now, but we still have August, who clearly flipped the shit on, like, on Thanksgiving. So it's clear as day. It's like, yeah, he needs to, like, you know, start focusing on his kids again and, like, really acting like a dad. And that's not going to happen with you babying them. And she kind of blows him in his face of, like, yeah, no, Cordell just came back from a very traumatic incident that he still hasn't recovered yet. He still needs us. And your first option is, like, to kick him out. And I understand where Grandpa Walker's coming from. He's thinking of his wife first, and he's thinking of her mental health, and he's thinking of her health in general. I do understand that, but they are your family as well. Like, you know, separating your family at some cases is normally never the answer. It definitely could create more issues down the road, which of course Grandma Walker takes to an offense. She doesn't want that. She doesn't condone that. So she basically tells him, you better go to Cordell right now and say he can stay here as long as he wants, because I'm not kicking him out. He's staying here. That's fine-o. And that leaves kind of Grandpa Walker kind of dumbfounded of, like, you know, he was trying to be the nice guy and then ended up blowing him in his face. So again, you got to really think about your decisions of anything. You got to think of all the angles over here. Cassie goes on her date with the politician, and it turns out I didn't notice this when we saw him the last couple of times. This guy is played by, he was a Supernatural character. He was the other brother of Sam and Dean. I forgot what his name was in the show, but it's the same actor. He just looked very much older. Like, he looks really old. He aged the fuck up, but I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, so they have their date. It goes pretty well. Pretty, like, standard first date. You know, Jitter's there. Like, you know, this is the first time they're, like, exploring this option. And she doesn't really know what to do. And as well as, you know, having that voice in her back about everything that just happened with James and everything. She's kind of concerned of, like, where could this go? Where could this lead? But you know what? She's just here for focusing on the dinner, focusing on just trying to be a good partner to him right now. And the date goes really well. They have a very great time, having a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that was an outstanding first day on their parts. Maybe even for more. But we'll come back to that on the next day, where it's the new day. Cordell and Jenna, I think that's her name. They reunite at his place again. And, you know, she apologized to him about, you know, the accusation, but there is credible evidence to suggest that maybe it is someone in your unit. So why don't you go through with me, your unit, and maybe we can cross them out for sure of being potential suspect. That's all I'm asking of you. Cordell's like, okay, yeah, let's do that instead. Let's talk about that, and see what happens. Trey comes back to the house, to go meet meet Grandpa Walker, kind of get some advice about everything going on, about his future as a ranger is under jeopardy, and then he's had the opportunity to explore so many career fields, so many different jobs, and that he finally feels him being a ranger is finally the right place where he belongs. And Grandpa Walker's like, of course, you belong here. Like, I've seen you firsthand. I know you as a person. You definitely belong on that team. It's just right now, it's just, customary. You gotta go for this. But then, everyone notices you. They notice your advantages, your journey, your story, your abilities on the field, that I think you'll be fine. You'll still be a ranger by the end of tomorrow. So yeah, that's giving him the most likely of choices there. I want to say, yeah, so I believe afterwards so we're back at Cordell's house. He's reviewing, they make a mock whiteboard of like suspects who could potentially lead Gray Flag, and their primary targets are like the other 3 people on Cordell's platoon, because one of them died during duty, and then after that, Walker left to go obviously start his family with Emily. So the other 3 all re-enlisted, and they all resumed another round of service, presumably. But however, Cordell lost in touch with them because things happen, and he just lost touch. It happens. So Jenna decides to use her Pentagon connections, apparently, to get into the system to figure out who's in active duty and who's not. So they're all off duty. They're not active anymore, but however, 2 of them just recently died within the last year and a half. And the last one is still alive, has no family or kids or anything, but he is, his location is not known. So he basically got wiped out. He skipped the grid. So their best bet is that if there's anyone leading Gray Flag, it's probably him. So she runs by her sources, trying to find any sort of like location for him. They got a lead. They head over there at night, trying to like scope it out. Cordell's like, okay, well, we got to gather probable cause, and then once we get something in order, I'll get a warrant so we can go in properly. But she's like, nah, I'm not a cop, so I don't have to follow through that. So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go and see what's going on, and then yeah. So if you want to back me up, go ahead. She whips out a gun, ready to go. Guns a-blazing. Cordell's trying to talk her out of it, saying that like, you're way out of your field. If this guy is close to the leader that you've been describing, then is it really the right idea for you to go without a bulletproof vest to fight this guy? She kind of limits, because eventually someone has to do it. It might as well be her. So they both go up ahead. But as soon as they enter the main property, lights go off. The guy tries to attack Cordell and take him down, but Cordell manages to take him down. He has a brief chuckle with him, like, you never change, Cordy. You never change. You're not even, well, not actually, not, no, it was actually the opposite. Like, he was commending him for, actually doing better this time around. So they're talking about it, and, obviously Cordell's immediately accusing him of, are you involved with this organization, and are you doing all these bad things? He's like, nope, I didn't do anything. I'm the one. Was the one who sent you the energy drinks to get your attention, to eventually have you figure it all out. And I'm like, bro, you were so vague in that fucking box. Like, there was absolutely no way he was gonna find out that was you if he didn't have Jen over there. So, and he's explaining he has his own theory that someone's hunting down their own platoon. The other 2 guys did not die of what their recorded incidents were. One died because he got thrown off the side of the road, and then the other one was poisoned. So, and they wrote that off because it's a bigger conspiracy that we know. I have a theory who did it, but yeah, you're gonna have to listen to me to find out about that. But she does not in this episode, so we'll come back to him another time. Grandpa Walker is holding his family meeting, but no one shows up, obviously. And he gets a little bit bummed out about it because he really wants to have this progressive change with the family, but no one's there. So he's kind of like, well, I don't know. He's just dumbfounded at what to do now. Even when Liam texts him to confirm, yeah, he's not coming whatsoever. He's like, he's just done. He's just like, I'm going to bed. Liam's back at the shop. He did have his meeting with the accountant off screen, and it went pretty well. There is a good chance they could save a lot of money in their first year if they do some very specific things. Obviously, them being a charity is one of them, and as well as certain actions they can perform can give them even more tax cuts and everything. So that's what they're going to do. And also, they want to bring Stella on board as a full-time partner, because she is 18 now. She's legal enough to participate in business meetings, authorize her signature for everything. She is able to do those things, and with her shepherding this idea for a while, Liam yeah, you're gonna be a full partner. You're definitely gonna have a seat at the table. You deserve it. So she agrees, and she's excited about that prospect. There was a scene back earlier where Cassie was stuck on Sunday paperwork duty, and the politician comes in, blessing them with their date and everything, and hoping that everything was going to be all right. They're on pretty good terms, and he figures out, like, yeah, I know, like, during dinner you mentioned that there was something you were going for here at work, but you didn't want to talk about it with me, so I did my own digging and, like, figured out what the heck happened. So I already made the necessary arrangements to try and see if, like, this could be scrubbed from people's memories, but Cassie is not pleased by that, because the main reason she got scared about dating him, was that he's a politician. He has power. Even before, during their date, he mentioned that there was a Facebook photo that was completely embarrassing when he was campaigning for his role, and he got scared by it. So he basically made his team at the time made the pictures disappear, and they never were seen again. So that's what she's scared about. Yeah, this just confirms it. She's like, no, I don't want to have special privileges just because I'm dating you. This is not right. I don't need special privileges. And he's like, oh, I could take it back. Don't worry about that. We could completely scrub this out and then just, continue back onwards, with our relationship. And he's just like, no, this is going to work out because you just did this already. We're not even a couple yet. So it's going to get worse when we're dating. So I think it's better if they split it up, which again, that is Cassie's choice. She's playing it safe. I hope to God they don't play the whole she's giving him a second chance because of that. I really don't like that trope, but we shall see what happens on that front later on. So she basically asked him to leave. We're at the next day already. Most of Trey's meeting has already happened off screen because Cordell was late. I'm pretty sure hearing from his old platoon buddies theory about who's probably killing off their unit. But so he makes it back in time for the sentencing or just the final verdict. So the team I forget the name of the whole thing. Damn Jesus! They come back they come back in with their verdict. Captain James reads it. I'm like looking at the facial cues, trying to realize what this is gonna be. And the moment James opens that letter, like that brief 3-second interval where like he's really reading the statement, and then he looks at Trey like, yeah, he knew, like, yeah, he's done. So yeah, so Trey is no longer a ranger in the ranger department. He has been terminated, and he will be immediately no longer a Texas Ranger. That is the final decision of the board. So they're dissipating. James dissipates as well. Cordell and Cassie are in shock because they were not thinking of this as a very viable option or what was going to happen to him. And he just sits there dumbfounded because, again, just yesterday he said, like, this is my future. This is where I belong. And then literally the next day they kick him out. And that wraps this week's episode of Walker with you, with a confused Trey wondering, what the fuck do I do now? So for me, I really enjoyed this episode a lot. I feel like this was more of what we needed, of like getting us the information what we needed at a faster, well, not the faster pace, like the Walker pace, where it's not slow, but it's not too fast. So I definitely do appreciate that. I was a little bit concerned with, like, were we getting way too much too fast? But I feel like this would all be natural. Like, you would just ask so many questions and you have to lead into like the next thing or whatsoever. And there's only so much you could do to like really stretch out the show by this point. So I think they did the right thing here. Gray Flag being now the antagonist and then really leading into Walker's military life is definitely what I wanted for season 2. So I'm very happy they're finally exploring that here right now. I'm also very curious to see where everything else is going to go, especially with Trey now, because again, he just started this new life, this new position, and now he has no job now. He has no like real prospects. He's kind of like stuck in the middle here. I mean, hell, he just got a whole new apartment just now for this new gig, and now he doesn't like, well, how is he going to pay for it? I mean, I'm pretty sure he gets something from the army, but like still, that's not the point there. Seeing just in general, like, what is this family meeting going to really mean? Is this like kind of like this like fresh streamline for season 4? Because like usually like they do that to like, probably like entice people like, hey, we're doing this thing to like, really like kind of shake things up when this does get implemented, which is how it's kind of stupid, but like that's really how it is at some points. That kind of gets me a little bit bugged. But overall, I really did enjoy this episode. I definitely think the highlight was James like actually being like a full on, not happy at all. He has to finally step up and be that asshole captain that he needs to be. But yeah, so What's going to happen after this, I really don't know. They still have so much to do with Gray Flag. They still have so much to do with Trey, the overall family. And I'm just very curious to see where things could go from here. But for now, I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it so much. Let me know in the comments below what did you think of this week's episode of Walker. Let's have a conversation down below. But until then, I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the hopeful first season of, I'm thinking of Walker, but it was, the third season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing normally besides our Walker episode reviews, we are currently doing Walker Independence ever reviews each and every Friday mornings after brand news is on Thursday nights on the CW. We're currently doing the Rookie episode reviews every single Tuesday nights, and we're doing the Rookie Feds episode reviews each and every Wednesday mornings. But if you don't care about the Walker, if you don't care about the Walker, if you can only care about Walker, you're gonna have to wait a tad bit. We're going on a 2-week hiatus for the show. We will be back the Thursday after Valentine's, so not too far away. So it's not, do not worry, it's not a super long Walker break that we're used to. It's only 2 weeks. I feel like that's appropriate so they can get time to like really, you know, catch up on what they have left to shoot. But that comes out in February 16th, so we'll be off for the next 2 weeks, both Walker and presumably Walker Independence normally. I will talk about that more tomorrow morning if there is any change on that, but I think it's going to both get off the air together for a while. Next week, we're going to be, since we have an empty time slot for the next couple of weeks, next week we'll be posting an extra review about the Three Pines. It's a brand new show you can find only on Amazon Prime, so go check it out before you check out our review, which comes out next week. But again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode review is live. Like, share, share if you want to, and as well as follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Texas Rangers out there, I'll see y'all next week. Not next week. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.